Tina, and I'm here to talk about what teachers connect with me and why. I'm connected with mostly Mrs. Goldfetter and Miss Solera and Miss Pasito.
Mrs. Shepherd. Mrs. Pasito.
Well, Mrs. Judd, for instance.
Miss DeSico, Miss Smith, Miss Holdley, Miss Hynette.
If I have a problem and I no one listened to me, I could go to Miss Loveland or Miss Loveland.
Mrs. Loveland, Mrs. Milam, Mrs. Chatton, Miss Gawana, Mrs. Robinson.
Good.
And maybe Mr. Weiss.
Mr. Fink, Miss Pasito, and Miss Wheeler.
Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Leonardo.
And Miss Muzak.
Mr. Frantz, Mrs. Pasito, and Mr. Canny.
You, Miss Kumiati, Miss Cummings, the other Miss Cummings, Miss Hamlin, and that's pretty much it. Whenever someone needs help or gets into an argument or something, teachers would help them in ways like they would explain what's going on and how to fix it.
That Mr. Frantz calls people at lunch to calls them to have lunch with you, and Miss Pasito calls people over to play, and Mr. Canny he plays with people. She's soft spoken.
I like doing the activities with them.
They sometimes help me, tell me maybe they can assign me to do something that would calm me down. Maybe go in a quiet room so I can calm down, draw a bit, and do stuff that would calm me down.
We come to her room when I'm stressed out, and she just makes me laugh, and she's just really nice.
They teach me stuff. She moves sticks up to good colors. You two are nice, and that you help me learn. I like when she moves my club box. She said, I like her when she says, "Oh, I did a good job."
Say hi.
They help me, they want the best, and they make me feel comfortable. I'm very excited. And sometimes when I'm sad, they help me. They would always help us no matter what, even if it's pretty, if it's hard, if it's kind of okay. And they would always help you with anything, no matter what.
That you play with people. That Mr. Canny makes people smile.
She helped me with my centers and encouraged me to do more writing.
Well, they've always been kind to me. They also treat me as I treat them. I think compassion, which Mr. B said a lot of times.
They keep me safe. They help me if I need help. They put me out of stress. They make sure I'm happy, and they help me stay smart.
And she's just so kind and really nice. She helps everyone a lot.
She teaches me stuff.
Perfect.
You're nice to other people and the people that you know. And she helps me when she says, I'm moving up your clip.
Keep helping me. Like, they teach me new stuff I don't already know.
They give me lots of hugs.
Lots of hugs. All right, awesome.
When teachers make a point of connecting with students as individuals, those students will feel valued, be willing to take risks, and unlimitedly thrive. Connections are made through sharing personal experiences. These connections not only allow students to know themselves better, but give teachers information about students' lives. The most important factor preventing students from failing or leaving school was identified as one interested adult. Positive teacher-student relationships are classified as having the presence of closeness, warmth, and positivity.
In the absence of strong positive emotions engendered by caring deep engagements, motivation and interest, little real learning occurs. Similarly, negative emotions such as fear and shame, shutdown of high-order thinking, and the activation of more primitive areas of the brain associated with fight or flight symptoms. Positive teacher-student relationships enable students to feel safe and secure in their learning environments and provide scaffolding for environment, social, and academic skills. Low-income students who have strong teacher-student relationships have higher academic achievement and have more positive social-emotional adjustment than their peers who do not have a positive relationship with a teacher. The goal of education is not to produce higher test scores, but to educate children to become responsible people with well-developed minds and good character.
Students who move from having positive relationships with teachers at the end of elementary school to less positive relationships with teachers in middle school significantly decrease in math skills. Students who perceive their relationships with their teachers as positive, warm, and close are motivated to be more educated in school and to have improved their academic achievement. Strong teachers/students relationships may be one of the most important environmental factors in a changing a child's education path. Evidence suggests that secure teacher-students relationships predict greater knowledge, higher test scores, greater academic motivation, and fewer rentals or special education referrals that insecure teacher-students relationships.
Get to know your students and the lives they live. Actively listen to students. Ask students for feedback. Reflect on your own experience with care.
I think for me, the most important thing that I took away from doing this was the main reason I went into counseling to begin with, and just realizing how important that personal connection is with our kids, and making sure they understand that we care about them and are invested in their lives and what matters to them. I think if you don't spend that time doing that groundwork, then anything you do after that is going to be extremely difficult, and the kid's not going to care as much because they relate to how you're feeling towards them, and they pick up on if you truly care about them. I think sometimes in education we forget that not only are we there to educate them and help them with reading and writing and math, but the most important thing that we're there for is to make sure they become productive members of our community and have good character and just overall become good people. So I think one of the best ways we can do that is not only model for them what that looks like, but show them that we are there for them and we're there to help them become these people. And then once that happens, all the academics become a little bit easier for them to achieve, and that's what all the research says, that it truly does improve across subjects, across grade levels. It really does improve their academics and how well they achieve. So for me, it really is the basis of everything we do, and I think it can be something so small, but it makes such a difference. And I think most of us do a much better job at it than we think we do, and we don't realize how much of a difference we make for these kids and in their lives just by doing little things and knowing little things about them, their likes, their interests, their siblings, what they do outside of school. All those little things make a huge difference. So, hopefully we can keep it up, and I know it's hard and overwhelming sometimes, but it really, to me, is the biggest difference in a kid's success. If they think you care about them and they feel connected, you will see an improvement. So it is worth all the time and the effort, and that is what I'm taking away from this, for sure.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Malachi with a special announcement with Mr. Frantz. What did you learn from this?
Well, Malachi, from this project I learned how important it is for us to interact and engage with our students more deeply than just what are they doing in their academics. So not only how are they doing with reading and writing and all that, but also getting to know them as individuals and really taking an interest in them, because that shows that when we get involved with our kids beyond academics, that they actually perform better.
How did it change the way you talk to kids?
Well, that's a great question. I think I talk to kids more in depth now. Like I just this morning, you and I were talking about how you're on 3 different basketball teams, and that's not something I would have known if I didn't take more of an interest. So just even kids that I don't work with all the time, I get to know a little bit better, and I make it my goal to get to know everyone a little bit better.
What else would you like to say?
Well, I think it's important for all adults who work in a school to make connections with kids on a daily basis. So you'll see, if you look behind you, that I have all of these hot air balloons on my wall. And the reason I have all these hot air balloons on my wall is because every student who comes in and has lunch with me gets to color their own hot air balloon. So my goal for this year is to have lunch with every single student in the school. And I feel that by doing that, I'll be able to provide them some sort of personal connection that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten. And I think that's important for all of us, just to do little things to make kids feel more connected and more welcomed at school.
Thank you for watching. Chip, chip, I miss the Frantz.
I think what my biggest takeaway from this project was something that we all recognize but don't always think about is how very important it is for us to connect with our kids on an everyday basis, and how important it is to develop meaningful relationships with them. Oftentimes there's kids who come in that we barely know their names, and when we have situations like that, then they sometimes fall through the cracks. And I mean, our teachers do an amazing job of developing relationships with students, but having as many of those relationships as possible within a school only enhances what a child will learn and take away and feel about themselves, and the confidence and self-esteem that it will provide for a student just to feel like they belong and are connected. So for me, that's what I always wanted to do, but it's something that was reinforced through this project. I think this project was eye-opening for me, just because, like I said, I've always wanted to make connections with kids on a meaningful level, and I try to make as many of those connections as I can. Sometimes those connections don't happen as easily or seamlessly as one would think or one would hope, but when you put in that extra effort, and you can actually see in the kids when you're starting to make those connections with them, because when you enter a room or when they come and see you, their faces light up, they get all cheery and they get all happy, and it reinforces what we do and why we're here and why we do what we do every day, to make lives better for kids. I think anybody who walks through the door who's working in a school, that's their ultimate goal, is to make the lives of our kids better. So I try to make as many connections as I can.